Zombies have made their way into the Battlefield franchise. Okay, well, maybe they're more like synthetic soldiers that only kill you with melee weapons, but just about as close to zombies as we've seen in a major Battlefield title. Battlefield's Dark Protocol event is live just in time for Halloween, and it really opens up the game to show just how fun it can be when you venture away from the classic PvP formula. And honestly, I never thought I'd be advocating for zombies in a Battlefield game. I had always hoped that they would go the dinosaur route. But this new Dark Protocol mode is actually pretty cool, and it's leveraging DICE's hard work on AI enemies to great effect. The Geists, these creepy pale synthetic soldiers, spawn in large numbers and will fight for the team that controls the spawner. The mode works pretty well in that you need to capture and hold an objective, which is often in a different location than the spawner. So usually the team capping the objective has to give up control of the spawner, giving the team that's down a chance to get the spawner and try and make a comeback. Of course, the lower number of players in the 12v12 mode means that good teams can potentially retain both the spawner and the control point. Also, the creepy Geists are not to be trifled with. Sure, they can only run at you with melee weapons, but they will instantly kill you when they sneak up behind. Considering that they often swarm, this can happen easily when you're outnumbered. They also take quite a few rounds to drop, so they can chew through your ammo and distract you from enemy players who pose a much bigger threat. I think they work really well in the mode, especially on the smaller maps like Redacted, and controlling the spawner really should be a top priority for most teams since it's pretty powerful. Seeing the Geist pile up on an objective is also pretty cool. Imagining a team being able to clear them all out while also dealing with enemy players seems like an impossible task once momentum gets away from them. That said, once an objective is captured, all the Geists are killed and their spawning starts over again. This does make sense as it would be really hard to shift major Geist momentum, and also their AI may have trouble navigating to another end of the map when the objective respawns over there. Though they don't really seem too hampered by the map layouts for the most part. DICE seems to have done a lot of testing with their AI pathing for the normal modes, and it seems to pay off in Dark Protocol. In fact, the Dark Protocol event kicked off with a new patch, the 6.1.0 patch, and it comes with tons of AI updates and also an improved end-of-round score screen, which is kind of cool. It looks very different. I still have to wrap my head around some of the layouts with it, but it is showing off a lot more info at the end of the round, gives you a lot more stuff to look at and sort of see how you did against top enemy players versus your own squad. Now, you do have to earn as many ribbons as possible to get the awards for this mid-season event, and getting ribbons on Redacted is a cinch. Sometimes these modes can take a while to get ribbons, but Redacted is like a ribbon farming machine. Playing as Pyke on this map is just too darn good. The spots, the kills, the assists, it stacks up extremely fast and makes this assignment quite easy to chew through. The first week rewards seem pretty decent. Clearly, the big one is the last skin for Sundance. It's a nice futuristic armored suit that I think most players wouldn't mind picking up. Also, having more maps in rotation is extremely nice. Redacted is fantastic, but any map over and over and over again is going to get a bit old. Here we have 4 different maps to pick from. Some play better than others though. I would argue that Redacted is probably the most fun. Spearhead is also cool, but I tend to be partial towards that map as well. It's an interesting way to show you the long-range engagement potential against the Geists. Now, playing around with the different classes seems like they could offer decent strategies for dealing with the Geists in mass. I thought that Boris's turret might be really useful here, but in general the damage output seems to be a bit weak and the reaction time is pretty slow. Dozer's shield might be a nice way to deal with them and not have to waste your ammo, but I also found that like LMGs can be a decent way just to chew through them without getting stuck in a reload when an enemy player actually arrives. As much as I love to run around Redacted with my auto shotgun, using the auto shotty against Geists seems to chew through its ammo pretty quickly, not leaving you much to deal with actual enemy players. I'm sure there's actually a lot of interesting strategies that are going to crop up to deal with the Geists and figure out how to get past them as efficiently or easily as possible. The mode also makes me really want to see some sort of wave assault base defense mode fighting against these same Geists. Like if the factories on Spearhead were designed to pump out Geists as fast as possible and they say went rogue or something and you had a single squad to defend against a massive wave of Geists, it could be pretty cool. But again, that's somewhat off the beaten path for Battlefield content. Who knows? Maybe another mid-season event down the road, DICE could just have some fun with it. And one of the better things about this Dark Protocol mode is that it sort of solves the problem that I had with the AI soldiers in the base mode, in that the AI soldiers aren't really visually that distinctive from normal players, and so target prioritization becomes more difficult. You end up shooting the AI soldiers instead of the actual players who pose a much bigger threat, and it's always kind of just irked me in the base mode when AI sort of inject themselves unwelcomed into any mode that you're playing. However, here the Geists are 1, melee only, and 2, they are all very pale white, distinctive, have glowing eyes. It's pretty hard to mistake one of them for an enemy player unless it's at some sort of extreme distance or there's a lot of smoke and debris in the air. For the most part, it's very easy to differentiate, and it makes me not resent the AI as much as I do in the regular modes. It does make me wonder if Battlefield could tap more into some of the AI PvP hybrid modes if they differentiated the AI soldiers a bit better, or maybe even had AI vehicle reinforcements come in that were clearly designated as being AI, with maybe different colors or different lighting setups so that they were very easy to figure out. I do like the idea of players being able to influence the match by capturing specific reinforcement points that would spawn enemy soldiers to sort of build up momentum in a team. You could sort of think of it in a League of Legends type effect, where building momentum using the AI and working with them to kind of create these big breakthrough moments or these big push-through moments could have a meaningful effect on the gameplay. I definitely think there might be something in there for the Battlefield franchise, and Dark Protocol shows that that can work at least in a very simple way, but it would be interesting to see it taken to a further extent. Now, in general, Season 6, I think, could be argued as one of the best, if not the best season for Battlefield 2042 since launch. The new map is great, the mid-season event is fantastic, and a lot of the cosmetics and Battle Pass stuff is really cool too. The new weapons and vehicles are they're okay. They're not terrible. They're not great. The little quadcopter hoverbike thing is kind of goofy, but in general, 2042 has sort of hit its stride right now. The player base is still massive, and there's still no word from DICE as to whether or not they're going to continue with additional content or support for the game. I would imagine at this point during the season, they would have already announced that there's at least plans for something else after this season, and considering that there is no announcement, to me, that suggests that DICE is planning to wrap up additional content for the game. Maybe there'll be some little modes and events here and there, but in terms of new maps and whatever, it seems unlikely. What do you guys think about this new Dark Protocol event? Also, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give me a like, subscribe, turn on those notifications to beat that YouTube algorithm, and up next, check out my Level With Me podcast, where myself and Matimio, two old gaming buddies, get together to talk about gaming news, what we're enjoying, and any other crazy things going on. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.